don't know if you guys know, but I was, out of all the boys, probably the one on the set the most. Just because, I don't know, I kind of took it upon myself to make sure that there was a sideman presence there, even though we kind of did this to kind of alleviate the pressure, I guess, on ourselves to be like the main part of the content. It was still very, very difficult to detach from it. Well, going for AJ though, why is he there? AJ just came on as a guest, man. He came on to just, help me out. Yeah, due to scheduling, I was going to be doing the Silent Library Challenge on my own and just reached out to see who was about. Obviously, AJ's my guy, and he was like, yeah, I'll come through. So, yeah. How salty was Joe being the first one out? Let me tell you something about Joe, yeah? First of all, he was the first one in the house, and I got to speak to all of them before they went in. Out of everyone there, I've probably known Joe the longest. And just speaking to him before he went into the house, I think his solo travels just did him a world of good, because his head was so screwed on, he was so calm. At the same time, still he had Joe energy. You know what the Joe Weller energy is like entertainment vibe, but at the same time, just very, very level-headed, and just looked at life in a different way, making me think I want to go on one of these solo travels. I don't think I need to find myself, but I feel like I need just a fresh perspective on life sometimes. He wasn't salty about anything at all. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen, he's the first one out of the house, but wasn't salty about it at all. Took it all in good light. The best moment, I don't want to say too much, because listen, TBJZL exclusive, Side Plus podcast, he will be the guest on the Side Plus podcast this Friday, so you'll get to hear about him and his experience and just his life in general. But he's a good guy. He's a very, very good guy. On the topic of Joe, let me just give you the whole picture. So you need to remember that obviously we were recording inside 24/7. Yeah, 24/7. So there's a lot of things said and a lot of things happen that don't make the final edit, because we're condensing it all into 1 hour. And sometimes I feel like maybe the edits have failed in not giving you enough context to a situation. That's something that we will work on for the remainder of the edits and for the next season, if there is to be a next season. But yeah, you don't get to see all 24 hours. You don't get to see the full context. There was a joke made after Joe's elimination that he was the one who bought the GHD straighteners. I think the joke was made during the elimination, before the elimination as well, but it was made again after the elimination. And there was a joke made about him snaking the group. And obviously, I'm on set most of the time, so I've seen everything and hearing everything, and all the boys are watching at home, seeing everything and hearing everything. So that is stuck in my head. And then obviously, when we're in Silent Library, they bring out the snakes or whatever, and I bust a joke saying, it's Joe Weller, because they think he snaked them and bought the straighteners. However, now people think, because they don't have the context, they think, it's just calling Joe a snake. Joe didn't do one snaky thing in that whole place. Let's put 2 and 2 together. I have no reason to call Joe a snake. So just clearing it up. Joke was funny. Well, I'm glad someone got that it was a joke and found it funny, because apparently I'm moving snaky now. You thought I called him a snake for no reason? I would have no reason to call him a snake, but just explaining to you that it was a joke made about him buying the straighteners and blah, blah, blah. So there you go. The only reason I'm saying this is because people are actually messaging me yo, why are you doing Joe like that, man? You're moving mad, bro. So clearing it up. Stephen tries voiceover perfect. Yeah, I feel like we needed to have maybe some better mic quality. But yeah, he is just perfect for this stuff. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't end up doing something like this further down the line. He is what a talented man. Moments appreciation for Stephen, please. Super, super talented. 10 Fanta Lights, brev. Did you guys actually give Specs all these sweets? Yep. Without Specs, Ginge, Phantom, Manrico, and Castillo inside would be dead boring. I don't think people realized that they wouldn't be as invested in the series if everyone was trying. And that is why we casted it the way we did. We didn't tell people to go do outrageous shit. We just looked at people's kind of personalities. We had casting calls to see what kind of vibe they were on. And the way you make content in reality TV, I guess I'm realizing, is you put a load of different personalities that you would never normally get together in the same environment, and you just let it happen. you just let it happen. We found people that wouldn't be, they would never cross paths. For example, Liv, yeah? Liv was on Made in Chelsea and just gives off that kind of upper class vibe. Livs and Specs in the same vicinity is something I would never expect to see. But you know what? They got on super well in that house. In fact, Specs got on really well with everyone in that house, and everyone on set loved him. Everyone in the house loved him. So I'm a bit surprised to see that the audience aren't a fan of him. They are saying some things that I can see why they're saying it, but then at the same time, you have to realize that if it was the deal that people are making it out to be, then it would have been brought up and it would have been dealt with. Like, it's that classic thing of people speaking on other people's behalf. Like, when I tell you, every single person in that house loved Specs. Obviously, they weren't a fan of the spending and stuff, but when I tell you they all, like, he was the most popular dude in that house because he made everybody laugh. I'm speaking factos. Maybe it's because, and you know what? I'm actually really surprised that so much of the audience want everyone to try, because when we do Sidemen content, yeah, anyone who tries gets shitted on. The amount of times I've seen people go like, oh, Simon's a try hard, or Toby's taking it too serious, or do you know what I mean? Maybe it's the concept that has birthed that, because people maybe would want to be in that position where they could win £1 million and they think they would act differently. I think if I was in the house, I would be like your Joe Weller or your Nifer or your Leah, because that's the kind of person I am. I'm reserved. I don't like to go and, you know, snake people. I like to try and exercise self-control. So I think, and I thought you lot were going to slap him in like a boring category. Because if I did that shit, I know, like, I'd be getting called boring. It's annoying when you don't try to. I hear that. You lot, you never let the waterfall incident go. But listen, all these things, yeah, you have to understand, like, these different dynamics create the entertainment that you're getting. That is the reason why you are so invested. And you might not think it and you might not realize it now, but if there weren't those different personalities and people being different things, you might not care for Leah or Joe as much, because everyone's the same. Do you get it? Like, each person in that house has like a purpose. You need a seasonal inside? Potentially. I am surprised by the amount of love that Leah is getting, but I'm also overwhelmed. I'm also happy. Why did I say overwhelmed? She's overwhelmed. I am happy for her because, okay, so out of everyone that went into the house, so let's go. We have Phantom Specs, Ginge, Castillo, and Joe. And the girls, you've got Nefer, Leah, Liv, Chloe, Manrika. Out of all those people, I had never met Manrika or spoken to Manrika. I'd never met Castillo or spoken to Castillo. I'd never met Liv or spoken to Liv. Everyone else I'd met before or knew in some kind of capacity. Yeah, so out of all those people, I'd never met Manrika, Castillo, or Liv. Maybe add some way of, if the money goes down for certain points, their lives inside get more uncomfortable, like worse beds or something. Yeah, listen, you lot have to just allow the first season a little bit. We need to understand what works and what doesn't, yeah? A lot of the things that you're asking for, as good as they would be, wouldn't be entertaining. I know a lot of people have asked for, like, I don't want to say regular people, because people, the influencers are still regular people, so don't put them above like that. But people who, let's call them non-influencers. I know a lot of people ask for non-influencers to be in the house, but one, it is a lot harder to cast them and judge how entertaining the content would be. Two, to create your drama moments, you would then need to do what a lot of other reality TV shows do and fake stuff and produce it. The one thing I will say about Inside is nothing is really produced. We let whatever is happening in the house happen and adjusted to it to make it come. We let basically everything that happened in the house, none of it scripted. It just happened. And then we ran with it and kind of just adjusted to make it come out well in the final thing. But a lot of other things, like a lot of other shows, when nothing's happening, they will instigate and go and make people do things. And that's when you get your drama, and that's when people get hate for things that they've only been told to do by producers. We kind of just let them do their thing. What was in the suitcase day one? I cannot tell you. You found her funny the first day or two. Do you know what? Yeah, let me speak about the people in the house. I think everyone in the house was genuinely really lovely. Once again, you are only seeing a limited part of the 24 hours, and you're seeing the bits that cause the most drama, because that's what people are entertained by. But everyone that I spoke to in that house, which was everyone, was genuinely really lovely, and they all actually got on really well. I know a lot of the team felt, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil things. Should we have this conversation after Inside is finished? Because I'm scared that I'm gonna let something slip that I shouldn't let slip. Enough has been leaked already. But I will say everyone in the house got on very well. How many seasons are we planning to do? Well, we're going to see how this first one went and see. Sorry, let me go back to it. That's the last reason why we went with influencers as opposed to your non-influencers, because they already have existing audiences that are invested in them. So that was the best way to get everyone invested into the series. If I told you Joe from down, I shouldn't use the name Joe. If I told you Jim from down the road was going into this house to potentially win £1 million, you'd be like, why the fuck do I care about Jim from down the road? Do you know what I mean? Did anyone turn it down who you asked? I don't know if I can reveal this. There's a few people that we reached out to that said, nah, it's not for me. There was someone that confirmed initially and then pulled out because they thought the casting wasn't right and the opportunity wasn't right for them. They're lost, because I feel like after this series is done, everyone is going to come out with some kind of positive gain. Positive gain. But yeah, for the first season, we had to go as big as we possibly could within reason. Influencers don't need the money as much as Jim from down the street. For sure. But influencers are going to make it entertaining. I'm telling you, it's not about needing the money. The money isn't the big element of the show as much as you think it is. Who's media trained? So Manrika is, I think she was on The Circle a couple years ago. I've never watched the show, but I think she was on that. Listen, I tell you right now, I can go and give you what you asked for. I'll give you exactly what you've asked for, and I guarantee you will not enjoy it. You see Jesse Lingard cracking up watching Inside. No, I didn't. This is definitely showing how incredible the concept is and how well you guys produced it, and the fact that people are choosing who they like is getting everybody hooked. When you guys were all just keeping up with it throughout all the week, were there any faves you or the other boys wanted to win? I think we were rooting for people that were similar to our personalities, which is what the main audience is doing as well, I believe. You want someone to win who would play the game like you. So obviously I'm rooting for like my Nifes, my Joes, my Leahs. But in terms of entertainment and humor, I'm also rooting for my Spexes and my Castillos. Do you get it? Like, as much as you lot need to like people and not like people to be invested in the series, and that's what's happened. I think we've been able to achieve that. I wish more context was given to clips. I feel like I said at the start of the stream, that was a bit of a flaw in the editing that we're working on and we will work on, and if we are to do another season, it will be addressed. Yeah, I think for the most part, I feel like we've done quite well with it. I don't know what you lot feel. If there was no people like Phantom, Specs or Brev. I love the fact that the whole UK is calling him Brev. Check the comments on Ginger's YouTube reaction. Public perspective is that no one caring about £1 million leaves a sour taste to the normal person whose life that would change. I understand that. I really do understand that. I get it. But if everyone cared, maybe it's a case of, and there's a thought of this, maybe it's a case of we potentially explore balancing it out between, some influencer people and some non-influencer people, and just see how that goes. Potentially. I'm not guaranteeing you that. I'm not telling you that. It's just like, it's a potential that there is there to explore. But I tell you, for the first season, it had to be the way that it is. I thought, do you want me to be honest with you? I thought we'd have to work harder to get them to spend money. That is what I thought. I think they made it too easy for us. Towards the end, I feel like we were thinking, these guys are going to end up owing us money. Like, what's going on? The production stayed there 24/7. So we had two teams of production that would switch between day and night. They kind of do like a handover, a gradual handover where the team kind of transitioned. I think pretty much every day I was there from like 10, 11 a.m. till like midnight, 1 a.m. What you need to realize is the bigger sidemen get, the more people will hate us for no reason. Like, the bigger your whole audience get, the bigger that pocket of hate gets as well. The other thing you need to realize is the bigger your audience gets, the more people watch you for different reasons. Our content is so diverse that every week, whoever's not getting pleased will be the vocal minority. Do you understand? So there's people who love hide and seeks, and there's people who love Among Us, and there's people who love the holiday vids, and there's people who love the race across the country challenge vids, there's people who love mukbangs. They all love different things, and they like other things less, and they hate certain things. So whoever is not getting what they want from the Sidemen Sunday, ruining it. Whoever's not getting what they want from the Sidemen Sunday that week will be the one to complain. So us as Sidemen, we're just looking at the comments and we just feel like we're constantly just not pleasing people. But really, we're just constantly not pleasing a small minority because everyone is invested for different reasons. Does that make sense? You have to make first one celebrities to get the hype. For sure, Kieran. Yeah, and people don't understand that. It's not possible to please everyone for sure. It's always the negativity which is louder. Yeah, and it's always the negativity that sticks in your head. At first, I was reluctant to watch, but I'm really enjoying it. I think that was the hardest bit. And this is where we messed up, yeah? We messed up, I think, by saying celebrities at the start. And I think that was done to get like the mainstream audience outside of our Sidemen bubble invested. But then people were kind of holding it to them expectations of, oh yeah, we need to see like A-list celebrities. So then you're getting your Ginge and you're getting your Chloe Burrows and people are going, this is what people are calling celebs. I think myself and the boys were actually against using the word celebrities. We were more wanted to go down the route of using the word contestant. Yeah, because then you're not setting up any expectations. But celebrities was used and then people had their mind set on it and they were saying, oh, this stinks. They had like a negative preconception of the whole idea. So the toughest challenge was getting past that preconception that people now had because of the word celebrities and getting them to enjoy the first episode. First episode, I think, was super slow in comparison to the way the rest of the series has gone. But I will say, watching it 24/7, the whole thing was entertaining. The whole thing. I wish we could put the whole thing out live for you, but that's just... so it's too much. Surely you guys don't make much profit from this series, do you? Yeah, this is not a profit thing. This is not a money grabbing thing. This is us getting, I guess, a proof of concept. Hopefully, if we do another season, I said do. Hopefully, if we do another season, we can look at maybe getting bigger sponsorships because you lot, the views go crazy.